Hey, yo, what is good to all of my YouTube viewers out there? Thank y'all for tuning in to this video. Y'all know I don't like to waste any of your time, but I do want to say thank you to everybody that watched the last video and for everybody that subscribed. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. You know, obviously I'm a growing channel. I'm trying to do my thing here with the 2K content. And so that would be very much appreciated. But I do want to go ahead and get into this video about the team that you should choose going into your MyCareer in 2K24. Okay, so if you're like me, you definitely get into the MyCareer, and I honestly think that it was part of 2K's intention this year for everybody to actually play some MyCareer games. I know last year everybody hated, as just like I did, you know, having to do all of the things with the riding around with the glizzy on your head and, you know, just doing a bunch of unnecessary stuff. So they're making the career more streamlined. But at the same time, if you are able to you know, have a decision about what team you actually want to play with, this list is going to be super important. Basically what I've done is I've gone through each team's starting five and some of the bench players as well, just gathering all of the ratings and looking through every single rating. I got all the ratings for the starting five on every team, just to see what, you know, would be the perfect landing spot for whatever position you might be playing. So we're gonna kick it off with the point guards, right? So here's my list, and this may not be in any particular order, but just looking, like I said, at the ratings of each team, I think that one of the best positions that you'll be able to do work in and actually earn a starting spot as quick as possible would be with the Heat, because they have Kyle Lowry starting, but I think his rating is either like I think it's a 78, and so everybody else besides Caleb Martin is in the 80s. So the Heat would be a great starting spot. Then you have the Raptors. They have Dennis Schroeder at their starting spot. And then you got the Spurs with Trey Jones, the Timberwolves, and then the Lakers. And I also have, the Lakers are like a go-to team like every single year. You got Bron and AD, and they are live threats. You got Jared Vanderbilt, who's a live threat too. So if you're trying to grind out your playmaking badges, the Lakers are definitely a team that you want to go to. And then I also have, just like as an honorable mention, the Clippers and the Nets. The Clippers a great team too. They got, you know, they got Russ at PG, but his rating is low. So the Clippers are still a good spot to land. You can let Russ come off the bench. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go to the shooting guards. All right, so this list, number one is the Nuggets, man. The defending champs. They got Jokic. Jamal Murray is the point guard, but you know, you being at the 2 spot, that would be a great landing spot for you. The Pelicans, obviously they got a healthy Zion in the game. I think Zion in real life is going to bounce back strong. He's been looking real good lately. Pause that. But yeah, at shooting guard, man, the Pelicans is a good spot. Also the Blazers, you know, they might be in like a little weird spot with, you know, Scoot Henderson is their starting shooting guard. But technically Dame is still on the team right now. So as long as Dame is there, the Blazers are a good spot. And then the Bulls and the Magic. The Magic are a young team. And of course the Bulls got Zach LaVine. Lonzo is still in the game. They got Zach LaVine though, DeMar DeRozan. So they're pretty stacked, you know, if you look at it on paper. So in terms of being a shooting guard, man, this is you know, my top 5 list of teams that you should go to. All right, let's check out the small forwards. This is probably gonna be the position of my first build. I'm making a lock, and I'll have another video coming out talking about, you know, I know a lot of people are gonna make locks on day one. And I'm actually advising against that because if you play 2K23, man, a lot of people, you know, they played solid defense, but at the same time, you know, people weren't really defensive minded. But yeah, that's for another video. But here's the list of my top 5 places of where you should choose to play if you are a small forward. Number 1, I think that this is probably the best look out of any team that's kind of on this list in terms of the position you play. and that is the Suns, man. Obviously, they are stacked with with Devin Booker, with Bradley Beal, KD, DeAndre Ayton, man. If you were to plug in at that small forward spot, like, you're literally just filling out the roster at that point. You got options all over the floor. You can kind of do anything. But, man, also the young team, the Rockets, they picked up Van Vliet. They got one of the Thompson twins. They picked up Dylan Brooks. But and you actually probably would be taking his starting position because his rating is like on the lower end. But just as an overall team, I think that they might be fun to play with. Also, you got my favorite team, the Mavs, man. You got Luka and Kyrie. Obviously, I mean, our starting five ain't really strong, but this is probably where I'll end up selecting once I make my lock. And then you have who I just watched Donovan Mitchell actually play with the Cavs against Stacks at the 2K event, man, and he's got me thinking about playing with the Cavs. My lock that I made in 2K23 played with the Cavs, and then you have the Pistons as well. They got a young team, but they actually got some pieces over there, man. I think that you being a starting small forward for the Pistons would be a good look too. All right, for the power forward position, the game has Anthony Davis listed. I think he's listed as like the starting center. So the Lakers actually would be one of my top choices for where you should go if you're running a power forward build. I think another build that I'll actually end up making is a Giannis build, like a Giannis type build. I'm gonna try to figure it out, man. I know that builder is tough, but the Lakers, and then we have the 76ers. You got Embiid, James Harden technically on the team. He'll probably be traded sometime soon. But you got Maxey, Tobias Harris. I think he's at the small forward position. But if you're running power forward, man, you can plug in definitely with the 76ers. The Pacers are a younger team with really some really dope players. You got Tyrese Halliburton. If you're a lob threat as a power forward, man, he is dishing you the ball, bro. So he's gonna get that to you. But also you got the Heat again. Like I said, Caleb Martin, his rating is on the lower end, his and Kyle Lowry's. But you would be able to plug in with the Heat for sure. And also the Rockets, I have them. And then in these honorable mention spots, you got the Clippers, you got the Hawks, and you got the Spurs. If you're playing power forward with the Spurs, obviously you'll play next to Wemby. That might actually be like a dope, a dope thing to go through if you be a rookie with Wemby. I think that would be a kind of a dope way to kind of play the MyCareer mode as well. But obviously, if you went to the Hawks, you'd be replacing John Collins, who they traded to the Jazz this past off season. So let's move on to the last but not least, the centers. And as you can see, number one on this list, it seems like every year that I make a center position, that I make a center build, I go to the Warriors, because obviously you're surrounded by Steph and Clay, and now they got Chris Paul, who can definitely dish you the rock, man. I think that would be just an easy position to play. And then you got the Mavericks again. Like I said, our starting five is kind of looking a little rough, man, but it's cool. If I make a big, I'm not gonna put my player on the Mavericks on every time I make a build, but that's kind of tempting. But also, man, Chet Holmgren with the Thunder, he is rated in the high 70s, and so you can kind of take his spot, have him come off the bench. But I think Chet is still a strong piece, and I think by the end of the year, his rating definitely won't still be in the high 70s. He'll definitely be in the 80s. He might win Rookie of the Year, actually. But also, just with two more underrated teams, I think, in my opinion, man, just to have fun with, would be the Wizards and the Hornets. They kind of need bigs. I know the Wizards traded away Porzingis to the Celtics. And then the Hornets have Mark Williams starting at center. But being able to play alongside Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, and of course, LaMelo would be dope as well. So, man, that rounds off the list. Let me know what you guys think. Again, if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something from it, man, just hit that like button and please subscribe. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.